Israel still has a very powerful Air Force, and Israel can do a lot of damage, and it's proven that. In 2006, in the short war that was fought between Hezbollah and Israel, Hezbollah won by not losing, meaning Israel said, we're going to destroy Hezbollah, and at the end of the day, Israel hadn't destroyed Hezbollah. Hezbollah still existed, still fired. Israel had to concede that it couldn't destroy Hezbollah. Now, Hezbollah didn't beat Israel by destroying Israel. Hezbollah beat Israel by saying, you can't destroy us. But in the process, Israel did a lot of damage against Lebanese targets. They blew up Beirut. They blew up a lot of villages and towns. They brought harm to the people of Lebanon. And there's people that are in Lebanon who are saying, we really don't want to be bombed again. And Hezbollah isn't just a militia organization. It's a political movement. It's a political party. It's part of the Lebanese government. They have a duty and responsibility to the nation of Lebanon. And so if Hezbollah precipitously got involved in a conflict with Israel that resulted in Israel bombing Beirut and Lebanese towns, hurting a nation that already has a very weak economy, very weakened infrastructure, there'd be a chance that the Lebanese people could turn against Hezbollah and say, you are bad for us. And this would be the end of Hezbollah. Hezbollah needs the support of the Lebanese people to continue to exist. Hezbollah wants the support of the Lebanese people. So Hezbollah is not going to be precipitous. Hezbollah has also said, though, that they are going to support Hamas. And the way they support Hamas is by maintaining military pressure against Israel that forces Israel to divert significant resources to the northern border, where they're carrying out this war of attrition against Israel and Hezbollah in a war of attrition. And this means it's a managed escalation. Hezbollah has been killing a lot of Israelis. I mean, you talk about the bombing in Syria that killed 2 Hezbollah commanders and an IRGC commander, but understand that Hezbollah has been taking out Israeli bases inside Israel, killing a number of Israeli soldiers, destroying billions of dollars of Israeli military infrastructure. It's a managed escalation. And I think it's going to continue to go this way because neither side wants to take that final step, because the final step would mean that Israel would probably lose northern Israel, lose the Galilee, because Hezbollah has said, we ain't going to fight the last war. You think you're going to come into Lebanon and push us back to the Litani River. That's not the fight we're going to do. You come into Lebanon, we're going to trap you in Lebanon, go in tunnels underneath, pop up in Kiryat Shimon and other Israeli villages, and we're going to make you fight in Israel. We're going to capture your towns, capture your villages. We're going to push to the Galilee. We're going to dig in. And now, instead of fighting on Lebanese soil, you're going to have to fight on Israeli soil, and the bombs you drop will be destroying Israeli villages and towns. That's the Hezbollah strategy. Hello,
Okay,
did we lose you?
Yeah, we're here. Something is happening. We lost your connection. We got half of what you were saying, but we lost your picture.
Well, I'm just saying that the war, a future war, isn't going to go the way that Israel wants it to go, and so that's why I don't think Israel is going to take the step to full-scale war, and I don't think Hezbollah is going to take it. Now, that doesn't mean mistakes can't be made. I mean, Israel killed some people. What, they kill the wrong person, then Hezbollah has to retaliate, and Hezbollah kills the wrong person, and now we've got this situation, cascading out of control. But this isn't about Hezbollah or Iran or the Houthi, who are out there blowing ships up, cutting cable lines, and making their presence known. This is about Hamas and the people of Gaza. That's where the real resistance is taking place right now. And Israel has not defeated them, and Israel won't defeat them. That's a statement of fact. I've talked about this before, but I'll bring it up again. For Westerners, we look at the humanity that appears on our television screens out of Gaza, and we see Palestinians who are hungry, starving, diseased, homeless, and suffering unimaginably. And we automatically view them as inferiors, and not because they're inferior human beings, but their situation is inferior. We say, well, here we are in our homes, we got heat, we got food, and these poor people are there suffering. What can we do to help these poor people? And they do need help. I mean, but let's stop disrespecting what's happening in Gaza. This is resistance. Now, innocent civilians that have no weapons, they can only resist by surviving, by being compelling. If you remember, there's a movie Gandhi. And again, Hollywood is a difficult thing. You never know how things, play out in Hollywood. If they ever made a movie about me in Hollywood, I wouldn't be a fat old man. I'd be played by Brad Pitt or some stud warrior. Maybe Ryan Gosling could play me, and take off his shirt and show something that could never exist in reality. Chiseled abs, and oh man, to only be Ryan Gosling. But that's Hollywood. It's fake. But there was a scene in the movie Gandhi where the Indians were protesting peacefully, nonviolently, and the British colonialists had their police officers with their sticks trying to break up, and so they'd send the police officers forward who would beat these guys down into the ground. Down they go and back off. Then the next guys would step up, and the colonialists sent the cops forward, and they beat them down. Down they went, and then the colonialists finally realized, we're going to have to beat them all. And they backed off. The Gazans these civilians are the epitome of nonviolent resistance. They're resisting by surviving. They're resisting by living. They're resisting by being. And it's not just, again, from our Western standpoint, we might call that pathetic. We might say, well, gosh, this is wrong. You shouldn't just be doing that. But see, I think we in the West have to re-educate ourselves about the Palestinians. I know I have. I'm still in the process of re-educating myself. But their leader, Shinwar, wrote some nonfiction. I mean, wrote some fiction, wrote novels. And I think the name of one of his books is Children of the Camp. The camps. And when you read this, you suddenly realize that all the Palestinians are children of the camps. They were born in refugee camps. These are third and fourth generation refugees. They have known no other existence than the camps. And they know that if nothing changes, they were born in the camps, they will live in the camps, and they will die in the camps. That is their fate. They are attached to the camps. And so for a Gazan to die in the camps is not what we think it is, an act of futility. It's an act of resistance. They are saying we are children of the camps. We're not leaving the camps until the camps turn into our homeland, till the camps become Palestine. We are fighting for Palestine. And here's the other thing. You know how Israel is fond of saying, well, the Gazans are Hamas. They're the same thing. Yes and no. No, because the civilians in Gaza aren't armed and they're protected under international law, and Israel is committing genocide and targeting them. But yes, because Hamas isn't a foreign entity. It's not like here's Gazans, here Hamas comes marching across the border. Hey, we're from over there. We want to come here and help you. We're the outsiders trying. This is what America does. We see people in need. Hey, we're sending in the Marines. Marines come in and they fight and all that stuff. And you're like, well, there's a difference between the Marines and the people they're fighting. Hamas are just children of the camp who have picked up weapons and are defending themselves against the Israeli occupiers. Once you understand that everything that's happening that we call genocide, and it is genocide, is also resistance, that every death of every civilian, whether it's every Gazan, whether it's a Hamas fighter sneaking his way through, trying to pop up with an RPG and he gets hit by an Israeli artillery shell and he dies, or it's a father trying to go get flour in a truck for his family who's starving and he gets shot by the Israelis, or a mother trying to lead her daughter or son to safety across the street waving a white flag and an Israeli sniper shoots them, or a 5-year-old girl in a car calling in for help while an Israeli tank comes closer and closer and closer until it kills her. Every single one of them are children of the camps, dying in the camps as an act of resistance to an Israeli occupy.